Are you sick of losing to the cheesy strings, or you're bored of getting thrown around while you're helplessly looking at the timer and your life going down? If you are, then this video is for you. If you don't have these problems, it probably means that you're too high level for this video, but feel free to stick around. Hi guys, my name is Seri. I made this video for new players to intermediate level players because I noticed that King has been giving you guys quite a hard time. I can understand how it seems unfair and annoying to deal with King, especially if you're new to the game. Throws are overall much stronger in Tekken 8, and if King ever hits you, he hits you like a truck. As a King main, I try to include other setups and cheese that I used to do when I was ranking up from lower rank. Let me know in the comments if I left anything out important. Anyway, I hope this video solves your problem. You don't have to watch the whole video. You can skip to the part where you think might be helpful to you. Anyway, enjoy. Let's go over King strings. I promise you, King strings are really easy to differentiate and memorize. Let me show you. This is the most basic thing a King would do to you. All throws that's a part of King string is 2 break, and that is all you have to remember. If King keeps spamming this throw string on you, you can make the read to duck and launch him. But be careful, he can mix you up with a low throw, which is unbreakable in this game. It's not a common move used by King, unless he has a hard read on you, since most people would just stand guard and wait to break the throw. If you block his 1-2 jab before his throw, you can actually jab him out of the string. Personally, I think the reward isn't worth the risk, since King has the option to extend his string without using throw. If you put him on a read that he's going to throw you, just duck and launch, since the risk and the reward factor pays off better for you. Anyway, back to this string. King can extend this string to a 5-hit string, which jails on 3rd hits. If King notices he gets a counter hit on his 3rd hit, he can stop this string to do a guaranteed 2-1, and the damage can really add up if you keep on getting hit by this. Most King will either commit to the string or stop at the 3rd hit because it is safe, but if King finishes the string and it gets blocked, he will be at -10, so make sure to punish him. If for some reason the King that you're fighting stops at the 4th hit, just so you know he will be left at -19 on block, so you can actually launch him. The best way to deal with this string is to stand block and be mentally prepared to press 2 to break the throw. If you have a hard read on him, always duck and launch, never mash jab. I notice a lot of new players are getting knowledge checked by this move that seems to be annoying, but this is actually one of the worst, if not the worst, low string in the game. Let me show you why. This move is a 16 frame low that actually gives you +9 on hit. The only way King can keep his turn is to commit to the string, which will give him +7. On 3rd hit, King can choose to get a guaranteed mid that knocks you down. Anyway, when you get hit by the string, you need to hold down back, not just down, to block it. On counter hit, the low still don't jail, but it gives him the option to do 2 more hits, so just keep holding down back to block. The low hits in the string are +25 to 29 frame on block. You will have plenty of time to visually confirm when he is stopping the string, and the mid is +15 frame, which is also launch punishable. Alright, let's sum things up. You need to hold down back, not just down to block. This move doesn't jail on the first 2 hits, so you should have plenty of time to react. Experienced King players will never commit to the string because it's way too risky. Next time, if someone tries to cheese you with this string, make sure they only test you once. At some point, I'm sure all of us have been cheesed by a 10-hit string on our final promo round before. Anyway, let's make sure that won't ever happen again. King's 10-hit strings come in 2 versions. They aren't as scary as you think, and you don't have to memorize the entire string. What you can do is visually confirm the mid and then low parry. Let me tell you the visual cue that I use, and it works every time. The first version starts off with 5 mid attack. If King does his 5-hit mid string that ends with a punch, you can low parry the next hit. The lows in this string don't jail, So even if you mistime your parry and didn't block any lows, you can actually just hold back and you will block the final hit, which is plus 40 on block. Just in case you're wondering, if King decides to stop his 10 hit string on hit, you're plus 19, and on block, you're plus 40. If King kicks you instead of punching you on the 5th hit, he's using the second version of his 10 hit string. So just hold back, let him finish kicking you, then low parry the next hit. You don't have to count how many hits he's hitting you. Just pay attention if he's punching or kicking. So just like the first version, if you mistime your parry, since the lows do not jail, you can just hold down back for the rest of the string. If you block the final hit, you're at plus 68. That's enough time for you to leave likes and comments to this video and come back to launch him. In summary, visually confirm his mids, it's either a punch or a kick. If you mistime the parry, hold down back not down for the second version, and simply hold back for the first version. King literally has 2 strings you need to remember to duck, and it's very easy to pick up the animation. Down forward 2-1 is a 13 frame 2 hit string. On block this is plus 4. This string is not a natural combo, so you can still duck after getting hit and launch him. This move has a pretty high recovery time. Any launcher that's under 18 frames should hit him just fine. If King keeps spamming this move on you, make sure you don't let him get away with it. King has the option to delay the second hit, and on hit, this string guarantees a 63 damage combo. Down forward 2-1 is King's very powerful tool. On counter hit, you won't be able to duck because the second hit will jail. High level players usually do the first part of the string, and only do the second hit when they can visually confirm the counter hit. The second string you need to remember is King's forward 2-1. Forward 2-1 is a 15 frame 2 hit string. On block this is plus 9. The string is a natural combo, so it can only be ducked after you block the first hit. If King keeps spamming this on you, make sure to duck and launch him. This string has a high recovery time, like down forward 2-1, so you can use any launcher that's up to 18 frame to launch him. On hit, this string is a heat engager, and if he's already in heat, he will be able to do a full combo on you, so you need to be careful. For this string, however, King has the option to do forward 2 down 1-2, which allows him to catch people ducking. On hit, this is a natural combo for King and is a launcher. On block, however, this option is plus 15, so you can launch to punish him. Just like down forward 2-1, this string is delayable, and high level King player will only commit to the string after they can visually confirm that the second hit is landed. If King stops at the second hit, you'll be plus 13 in crouch. I know King has a couple of strings that we didn't cover, but I promise you, these are the 2 strings that you need to remember to not get cheesed by King, especially if you are still a new player learning the game. Everyone here at some point has run into King that likes to spam their power crush, like it's the only move they have in their move list. We are going to be looking at back 3 and up forward 3 plus 4. Back 3 is a high 16 frame power crush move that can be just frame input to deal extra damage. This move is plus 10 on block, but if King uses this at max range, it can't really be punished, so you need to keep that in mind. This move has a really high recovery time, so if he keeps spamming this, you can simply backdash and whiff punish him. This move is very easy to sidestep to the right side, so you can sidestep and launch him, or you can simply duck and launch. Up forward 3 plus 4 is a mid 22 frame power crush that is plus 12 on block. Up forward 3 plus 4 is steppable to both directions, but just keep it simple and sidestep right, since most of King's move can be stepped to the right. This move has an even higher recovery time than back 3, so make sure to launch him. On hit, this move will put King in Jaguar Sprint, which gives him options to do the following attack. Jaguar Sprint 1 is a 16 frame mid that is plus 8 on block. On hit, it guarantees the elbow and the stagger kick follow-up, which does a lot of damage. Jackal Sprint 1 is a very scary option when your back is against the wall, because it gives King a wall slap combo. Jackal Sprint 3 is a 22 frame mid that is +9 on block. This is a tracking move, and on hit will knock you down. Just like Jackal Sprint 1, when on hit next to the wall, you give King a wall slap combo. You can lose your health very fast if you keep on getting hit by these two mid options. Jackal Sprint 4 is a 20 frame low that is +21 on block. On hit, this option puts you on neutral frame at 0. The next option that King likes to use is the Jackal Sprint 2+4. This move comes out at 23 frame, and on hit this put King in heat. There is no break for this throw and can only be ducked. This move has about 15 frame recovery time. The timing to launch him is pretty tight, so it's totally okay if you want to do faster punish move to get a guaranteed damage. King has two other options that I've never seen anyone use throughout my playtime. These moves aren't really practical or commonly used, so you don't need to think too much about them. The best way to deal with power crush spammers is to implement a lot of movements and not mashing. If you do get hit by up forward 3+4, I recommend you to just stand block and only duck the throw on reaction. It's much scarier to get hit by the mids, especially when your back is against the wall. I know it's not easy for a lot of players, especially players at the beginner level, but you will have to try. What King likes to do for his power crush setup is to do a move that gives you plus frame on block, and then he will use either back 3 or up forward 3+4. This usually works because most beginners to intermediate level players like to press buttons to attack on any plus frames that they are given. King can only do this with low risk when he's around -6 or less, since there is an armor activation time for the power crush moves. If the King that you are fighting keeps spamming his power crush when you're on any slight plus frames, you can use your 10 frame jab to knock him out of the power crush. If you are slightly slow, you will still be given time to duck or block. Keep in mind that if you hit King during his power crush and block, you won't be able to punish him. Use throw. If he keeps spamming his power crush, you can use throw. Throws are unbreakable and ignore the armor property of any power crush moves. Use low attacks. Some characters have low attacks that on counter hit deals a significant amount of damage or gives you a guaranteed launcher. On read, you can use these attacks to beat the power crush move. Personally, I think this is the best way. This is where learning movement in the game can really help you. The options I mentioned earlier require you to have a hard read on your opponent, and it can be risky. In Tekken, just because you're on plus frame doesn't mean you should always attack. On plus frame, it's much easier to sidestep or backdash into your opponent to create a whiff punish. I would say the safest and the most consistent way to beat these power crush setups consistently is to combine these options together, so you won't have to rely on hard reads and you will be taking minimal risk. Forward neutral 2 is 18 frame low that crushes high, and on counter hit can turn the momentum around for the King player. On hit, this move is +7, which means King can do anything he wants, and on block it's -13, which can be punished quite heavily by some characters. Beside blocking, the best way to beat getting spammed by this is to apply movements to your gameplay. Because just like his power crush moves, forward neutral 2 is very easily steppable to both directions and has high recovery time. But be careful, King can use forward 1, which is a homing mid to catch you sidestepping. This move comes out at 20 frame, and on hit this gives King +14 and is +5 for you on block. On counter hit, this move gives King a guaranteed follow-up, which can deal a lot of damage. Since this move is pretty telegraphed and comes out at 18 frame, you can also make sure to do mid or low as keep outs. If you have a read on him, you can also just use your hop kick. King is a character that only has forward forward 1 and forward forward 2 to approach you. There is no perfect solution for this, and you will need to incorporate these things together to your gameplay to beat it. Learn the game at your own pace, and look at every reads and sidestep launch as small wins. King has the highest damage dealing throw and the fastest throw that comes out at 10 frame. He also has the longest and the highest damage dealing chain throws in the game. King is the only character in the game that can press forward to his generic throw to have an increased range, but they will come out slower at 15 frame. Command throws are harder to break because you need to press according to the arm that extends out. 1 for left arm, 2 for right arm, and 1+2 for both arms. The Joanna Twister can be just frame input to deal 5 extra damage. Ultimate tackle into leg crossfold is the only throw in the game that can be escaped by pressing 3+4. While running 2+4 can be just frame input to do 5 extra damage. Pile driver is an 11 frame, 1 break throw. If you miss the first timing to break, you are given a 50-50 chance to break the second part of the throw. This throw isn't very commonly used because you are given 2 chances to break it. What I'm about to show you is why King is the best grappler in the game. Giant Swing is a 10 frame throw that has the same animation as 1+2 break, but is actually a 1 break throw. This is the fastest throw in the game. It does 70 damage on wall and can be just frame input to deal 5 extra damage. When you get thrown by Giant Swing, make sure to mash 1 as you are about to land to take less damage and get up straight away. Let's quickly go over the generic command throw setup most Kings, including myself, like to do. I don't think Kings at the beginner level really do this, so if you're still new to the game, you can skip this part, but you are more than welcome to stay. Once the King that you're fighting knows how to buffer his command throws, he will be using it on every plus frame that he has. Let me show you a couple of examples. 1 jab into a command throw is the most common setup King will use. On hit, you're -8, and on block, you're still at -1. I don't recommend you jabbing back since Giant Swing is 10 frame, and King can get a counter hit throw, which is much harder to break. Down forward 1-2 or down forward 1 into a command throw. This string is delayable and is +10 on block. If King commits to the string, on hit you'll be at -5, and if King only hits you with the down forward 1, you will be at -3. A lot of King will only do the first part of the string, then follow up with a command throw, because you're only +1 on block and he's expecting you to stand guard. Down back 3 into a command throw. On hit, you will be at -4. On block, you will be at +14, so make sure to punish him. Forward 1+4 into a command throw. King is at +7 on hit, and on block, he's still at +3, so you can't really mash back. This move has a really bad range and is very linear, so you can either backdash or sidestep right and whiff punish him. While running 3 into a command throw, this move is -3 on block. On hit, this move knocks you down and gives King a guaranteed follow-up. Just like forward 1+4, this move is very linear and can be sidestepped into whiff punish. To avoid these setups, you can duck, under throw and launch, but you can't always rely on having hard reads on your opponent. It's just something that won't work consistently and in the long run. So you might as well take the time to learn the key skills that you will need as you rank up. Unfortunately, the best way to deal with throws is to actually know how to break them. I will show you step by step on how you can practice breaking all kind of throws. Go to practice mode, pick any character you want and pick your opponent as Dragunov. You can pick any stage that you like, it doesn't really matter, and set the settings as follow. Go to practice settings and select each CPU opponent action to do the command throw for 1 break, 2 break and 1+2 break. If you're not sure what they are, you can pause the video and follow exactly what I'm doing here. Make sure you set up the actions interval to normal, you want to start slow and easy. Keep your display HUD nice and clean, we only need to display command history here. Now what you need to do is to hold down to duck and press the right break according to which arm is being thrown out. We want to start training our eyes to visually confirm first before pressing the break. It's okay to be slow as long as the input is correct. Make sure to do it for both sides. Personally, I still struggle to break throw from the right side, so this is also a good exercise for me to practice. We want to make sure that we are able to visually confirm and break throw from both sides. I promise you, you only need to do this 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes for each side. You don't need to rush to the next step. You can spend a couple of days doing this or do this at your own pace. Once this becomes too easy for you, you don't need to hold down anymore to break the throws. This isn't supposed to be easy. It's okay if you press too slow or use the wrong input. You can spend as little as 10 minutes per day on this, 5 minutes for both sides. And I promise you, you'll be able to break throws in your matches so much easier instead of having to rely on hard reads and duck. If you're like me, I'm always sloppy on my first few rounds, so I really like to set up this practice for myself, is to warm up my hand-eyes coordination. I know it can be annoying to do something that won't show you an instant result straight away, like winning a ranked match. But I promise you, do this exercise 10 minutes a day, and you will be able to comfortably break throws without mashing random buttons and panic duck. Let's go back to King's chain throw. I will only be showing you the break to the important chain throw you need to know. Both arm breaker and standing heel hold share the same animation, so you will need to guess between 1 or 2 to break. It's okay to not break the start of the chain throw, but you need to know how to break from the highest damage option King has. From standing heel hold, King's breach does the most damage out of the 3 options. If King ever gets you by your heel, hold 1+2 to escape from the highest damage option. Scorpion's Deathlock does the second highest damage out of the 3 options. You can hold 2 to break from this. Most King will mix you up between King's Breach and Scorpion's Deathlock. The last option is STF and it does the least damage out of the 3 options. You can hold 1 to break from this. As I mentioned earlier, most King players will either do King's Breach or Scorpion's Deathlock. I recommend you to hold either 1+2 or 2. You always want to start off breaking the highest damage dealing option first, because most King will test your knowledge to see if you know the break. Then, if he keeps using Scorpion's Deathlock, you can decide which option you will choose to break from. If King gets you by the arm, you have 2 chances to break from the highest damage option, which is the Roaring Death Cradle. The first chance is to hold 1+2 after the initial throw to break from the chicken wing face lock. If you miss the timing to do this, you can still hold 2 after the chicken wing face lock to break from the Roaring Death Cradle. King can, however, mix you up with the Sleeper Dragon finish, which does less damage. The break to this lesser damage option is to hold 1 after chicken wing face lock. Another route King can go to is Struggle Combination. This does about the same damage as Slipper Dragon finish, and you only have one chance to break from this by holding 2 after the arm breaker. Triple arm breaker is the least damage option King can do from arm breaker. You can hold 1 to break from this. King likes to knowledge check if you know the break to the highest damage option, so you should always be holding 1 plus 2, and then 2 if you miss the first timing. If King goes for the struggle combination, you can hold 2 first, and if he does the chicken wing face lock instead, just simply hold 2 again to escape from the roaring death cradle. This is the highest damage dealing chain throw that King has. Tekken 8 has made it so much easier for King players to do this by simply assigning key charge to a button and mash it. So instead of having to memorize the whole chain throw string, all King players can now do this very easily. The initial grab to this chain throw string is either 1 or 2 break. If King chooses to mash key charge instead of manually putting the chain throw string, the break will always be 1. King can only mix you up if he does the input manually, and since most King are lazy, I recommend you to just hold 1 first to break out of the chain throw, and if that doesn't work, you can now choose to hold between 1 or 2. These are 2 other chain throws that are not very commonly used, since they are very slow on start and don't do too much damage. Unfortunately, King can still mash key charge to do this. So to break from this, try holding 1 first and then choose between holding 1 or 2 if that doesn't work. King can also sidestep to enter this chain throw string. Anyway guys, if you guys are still here, I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you'd like to show support and see more of my content, I actually stream on Twitch on most days at around these times. I used to be a professional Dota 2 player, and my goal right now is to be a professional Tekken player. I would love you guys to be a part of my journey in my Tekken career that hasn't even started yet. But anyway, my stream is about self-improvement, having good conversations and positive vibes, you know, because that's what we King men do. We do try our best to be a Giga Chat. Anyway, I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.